Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo. We're going to be here a little bit, and then we'll play League. I figured I'd get on early here just because it's actually, it's cool right now, so this room isn't fucking disgustingly hot. And, you know, when it heats up and it gets disgustingly hot, then I'll swap over. So I figured that would make a bit more sense mentally. Yo, yo. Get the focuses in. Alright. Yeah, this is a, Gotrek and Felix diorama. It's old, minis. Pretty old miniatures. Old diorama minis. These gloves are so bad. What are we cooking today? I got some croissants. That's what I'm eating. I have been up since 6 a.m. I woke up to Mochi staring at me. Because that's what he likes to do. He likes to stare at people. Yo, 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 yo. And I figured right now, why not chill? It's the weekend. Again, it's cold out, so it's nice. Better than what it was yesterday. Here it was very disgusting. In this room, late at night, it gets even worse. For some reason, it's supposed to be colder at night, but it just wasn't yesterday, so... It needs to be cold. The colder, the better. The longer you can do stuff. You know, it's funny. Whenever people call you a basement-dwelling weirdo, if anything, that's kind of, in a way, it's... Sometimes it's good to be a basement-dwelling weirdo because it's cold in the basement and you can actually do things without, like, burning alive. It's free air conditioning in every room. It's really good. That is what we long for, is air conditioning.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
You gifted me a sub. God bless you. Wow, look at me. I'm subscribed to my own channel now, thank God. You know, ironically enough, I think I have a Twitch Prime, I just don't use it for some sad reason. I think. I should be using it on myself. Realistically. Make some sort of kickback. Even if it's a little bit. I always forget to use mine. I could do that. It's 2 separate channels. I could do it. I don't see why you couldn't. It sounds weird, but, like, it doesn't sound impossible. Putting together, an old set of minis. It's like a diorama. There's not that many of them, thankfully. There's only 3 more characters, which I can do today. Because it's not late. I don't need to, I don't need to go to bed like I'm on a curfew. $400 a room back in the day. I mean, that's nice, yeah. If you've got central, like central air, like that's great, but we don't. I've got an air conditioner that blows with fans. So that's what I use. And, you know, we try to keep the rooms that don't get much circulation kind of, cool. That's the ideal scenario. There's no box with this thing. There's no art box because it was like it was an exclusive. You could find them on Google Images, but there's no art box. It wasn't really a big release. I can go find it in like a second, but my hands are kind of full of metal dust. I think if you type on Google, type Black Library, Gotrek, and Felix Diorama, you'll see it. Black Library, Gotrek, and Felix Diorama. And there it will be. It's just an old display piece. It's not really anything. It's just for the collection. I've had it for years, and I've just never built it. So, now's the age of building stuff. But since everything is a fucking model kit, you know, you gotta do things. Dwarven Banner and Oath Gold. Yeah, Oath Gold's kind of trash, though. I don't know about it now, but, like, when I was playing, it was so worthless. It did nothing. We're done eating microplastics, sniffing metal. Yeah, that's what this hobby is, though, man. It's a lot of, not very nice things, you know? Oh, it's very good. It's a very good game. It's one of the best games out there. It's a cool diorama, though. It was pretty limited. They're kind of expensive now, but thankfully I got mine a long time ago when it wasn't so egregious. But you know, more things for the collection, I suppose. A lot of these old commemorative minis are kind of a little bit funkier. We're good. Mochi is chilling. Mochi is chilling. He's sleeping right now, actually, I think. Yeah, I did see that. I mean, that's what dwarves need, though. It's like, how the fuck are you gonna have dwarves without a shield wall? Like, it's incredibly broken, but, like, that's so dwarves, right? Like, you either pepper them with guns, and then they get to the shield wall and they break, or nothing, because that's what dwarves are. Like, they are known for their shield walls. It's more flavor like that that's good for the game. I think I'm kind of done with Total War, to be honest. Like, you know, going back and playing it here and there is fine, but I've played it for years. And now that I have access to my real hobby again, I'm kind of more inclined to be doing this than, like, the game, you know? It's not that the game sucks, but I've just played it so much, and, you know, if you could do the real thing, I'd rather do the real thing. They're still missing some pretty prominent characters in the game, though. Like, at least for the sake of dwarves, you're missing quite a few. Well, not quite a few, actually. Maybe just a couple. And that game likes to cherry pick, you know, old characters, so, like, why not bring some back? I mean, yeah, it's just, I'm gonna play 2. Yeah, I will play 2 when it comes out. There's just too many things to do in the world, man, and you want to kind of give your time to things that you really love, instead of, you know, oh, I could do this, but it's not as exciting as this, but I have access to both. It's like, well, why the fuck do the other one? Busy, busy. Life is very busy. Alrighty. Man, these gloves not fitting are so ass. Yeah, maybe no more, maybe no more of this music. No, they're different universes. They're different, like, IPs. Same company, but one's futuristic, one's fantasy. There are no... There may be, like, similarities with the certain races, but, like, it's a completely different universe. Fuck. More people gravitate towards 40K. 40K is kind of, the thing. $40K is definitely the thing. Right now, all the Warhammer Fantasy players are, like, holding their breath for the next big thing. But, yeah, 40K, futuristic. Not really. I'm not really into 40K anymore. I used to be pretty big into 40K while I was still big into this stuff, and it just never resonated. It doesn't stick well like fantasy did. If you're a big, like, Lord of the Rings guy, whether you like the movies or the books or whatever it may be, you know, that's kind of a decent drawing factor into liking this universe, Warhammer Fantasy. And I think everyone likes the Lord of the Rings. I think everyone does. Or at least knows of it, right? Age of Sigmar Nurgle. Didn't you buy... Did you end up... How much did you pay for those two things in the Discord? If you mind me asking. How much did you pay for them? Because I saw you bought two things. The two old, like, Finecast... Or not Finecast, they're Forge World resins. Lord of the Rings is pretty awesome. It was in trilogy or... Yeah, there you go. Exactly. I prefer 40K for the same reason you prefer fantasy. What, because it's the best? Dude, that's a conflicting thing. 250? That's about right, yeah. Were they sealed? I really want to love 40K again. I just don't gravitate towards anything. Like, even the Leagues of O10 don't really call to me. Because the Leagues of O10 aren't necessarily dwarves. And I really like dwarves, but we don't get dwarves in 40K. We get, like, the stunted abhumans. Which is very 40K, don't get me wrong. I need to find something that just sings to me in 40K again, and I can actually fuck with it. Because it's not very hard to fuck with anything Warhammer. It's just you need something to draw you in. If there's nothing to get you into it or like get you back into it, it's very hard to continue, you know? Not yeah, that's okay. I mean, you know, things change. People don't stay interested and, you know, some people jump on board, some people leave. Whatever it may be. I will say this, crazily enough, I think I like there's something about current 40k sculpts that just don't work with me. I think I'm more into like the weird rogue trader stuff that has all that character and goofiness. That's kind of my jam. Something about that is just more exciting, I suppose. Astartes fan film. Yeah, everyone's seen that. That's pretty good. Both have been worked on. The Good Include was pinned. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. No, all the old Forge World stuff is great. Did you see the new, not the new, but did you see the Chaos Spawn that's coming back? The big Forge World one for, like, Warriors of Chaos? Dredging Yo, buddy, we're good. No, not the two-headed dragon. It's a literal, like, if you like Nurgle-looking things, it's like a fucked up, weird, elongated, large cat-looking Nurgle beast spawn thing. It's good. It's a huge sculpt, too. It's not a small thing. Maybe not as massive as you may think, but big enough. That's coming back. It looks 40k. It can be used in 40k, I'm sure. Good. Oh. Yo, yo. Have we ever seen Tobias's legs? I did a cooking stream. You'd see him there. You would see them there. Silver, no, I haven't read. Listen, my Lord of the Rings is like the games, it's the movies, it's that stuff. I've read more Warhammer than I have Lord of the Rings. Anything. No Silmarillion, no nothing. I own the trilogy. I own the Lord of the Rings. I just never read it. I've never even read The Hobbit. I can't cope. I've never read that. And to be fair, there's still so much Warhammer to do in terms of reading that, like, I don't think I even want to. I just ordered, I found 4 things online that I've been looking for years. And I found them at good deals, so I'm like, you know what? Pull the trigger. $100, great. And now we got 4 more things to read. So right now, I am swamped. Yeah, well, you know, I know Andy Serkis did one on YouTube for, like, charity. I'm aware. It's just a matter of if I have time. Car and the Betrayer book? Yeah, that's cool. Who's the, you say listen to, so audiobook. Who's the narrator? Is it Jonathan Keeble? Is it the Keebster? He's fucking good. He's the GOAT. Jonathan Keeble does a lot of the voice acting, or he does a lot of the narration for the books. It is him. Nah, he's the GOAT for sure. He's great. You'll start to realize that, like, he's a voice actor, so he's even in Total War. But he voice acts the characters, right? And I feel like he just does an amazing job with them. I haven't listened to the Karn book, but, like, you know, having read the Gotrek books and then you listen to, like, the audiobooks that they've put out, you're like, damn, is that really what he sounds like? I like it. It's cool to read something or to know of something for so long and then finally get, like, some weird confirmation in your mind that that's what they would sound like. That's what he does. He brings your favorite characters to life with his voice. Yeah. Zach, yo, buddy. Yeah, audiobooks are great. You know, if you can read the actual book, that's awesome. But if you don't have time, I understand, like, audiobooks. Not to mention they're more thematic. Not every book even has an audiobook, like, you know, not to mention they're a little expensive. But it's really those books that, again, they kind of give you this glimpse into what this person could sound like and whatnot if they were real in the universe, you know? Just voice actor stuff. It's cool. Is that a 40K one? Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, the voice actor for Johnny Depp, for Jack Sparrow, the voice actor? You mean the actor? Like, voice acting, a little different, I suppose, but I guess, you know, kind of in the same vein. Oh, for the books. Oh, really? Pirates of the Caribbean, was it initially books? Oh, no. 40,000 years in the future. So 30K is 30,000, so on and so forth. It's years. It's more so, I mean, when you've got actors like Johnny, nobody will ever be Jack Sparrow but Johnny Depp, right? Certain voice actors can come in and kind of like give a new spin on a character, but you always have that one definitive one in your mind that's like, that's who that is. That's just kind of how that works. Yeah, Kevin Conroy is Batman. Exactly. It's like, who can... Or Mark Hamill is the Joker, which, you know... Legends Star Wars stuff, I've read the Cantina book, I've read the Jabba's Palace book, I read the Bounty Hunter book. I've read some of the comics. Like, we're talking, like, mainline story stuff, like, what is it, Heir to the Empire, stuff like that? No. I'm not really, I'm a scum and villainy guy. I don't really like, you know, Thrawn or a lot of the main bad guys and good guys. I know it's amazing from what I've heard, but I need the initial appeal to want to be into it. I'm more of the... I think they're just called Tales from the Cantina, Tales from Jabba's Palace. There's one with the Bounty Hunters. Comics. Star Wars right now for me is a little stale. I'm more interested in the art and just kind of like the OG stuff. Yeah. Like, Star Wars right now, coming off the tail end of the Acolyte, is just not exciting. There's nothing exciting about Star Wars right now. That new game that just came out, I looked at it. I've already spoiled the game, so I'm not going to play it, but it looked alright. More up my alley with, like, the Underworlds and the crime syndicates and whatnot, the Pikes, Crimson Dawn, the Hutts. Very much my thing, but I'm just not really... I'm not going to buy it. Even Alien is kind of not exciting. Like, Alien Romulus, I don't think reignited my love for the franchise. I'm very dead set on, like, very few things in a universe, and I love them to death, and that's kind of my attachment to it, whether it's for nostalgia or just something, you know, I think is cool. Like, I love the Alien franchise, but for me, it's Aliens. It's the Colonial Marines. It's James Cameron's, you know, the best film in the fucking whole thing. Come on. Like, that's my shit. But, yeah. Star Wars, same thing. Like, I grew up on Return of the Jedi. I love the alien gangsters. I love the whole, you know, Hutt clan of just very debaucherous, horrible slug people. Okay. How awful is metal to work with? It's pretty terrible. It's just shittier, messier. But, you know, some of the best sculpts are only made in metal, so you kind of have to just work with it, right? Work with it, not work against it. Yeah, this is Max Schreiber. Yeah, this is the Gotrek and Felix diorama. This is beloved Max Schreiber, who is just a fucking nobody in the end of it all, unfortunately. They really did Gotrek and Felix so fucking dirty. So dirty. Like, it's the one of the worst send-offs. One of the worst. I hate it. Nothing epic, just pathetically sad. Yeah, Felix was robbed horribly. Ulrika was robbed. Max was robbed. Okay, like, Ulrika and Max not being, like, main characters, but, like, just still going out like fucking chumps. Like, Snorri had a pretty good send-off, I'd say. Snorri was great. It was my favorite of the bunch, and the way he went out was fucking horribly sad, but, like, who else would it have been? Right? Like, his shame was only to be taken out through Gotrek. Oh, spoiler, sorry. Oh my god, spoiler territory. Yeah, he did. You know, I recently bought the Ulrika series because I need to kind of find some redeeming features or redeeming qualities of that woman. So when that set arrives, I'm going to read it. But, yeah, Max goes out... with Be'lakor. Be'lakor kind of, you know, does his shit, and then Max is like, I banish you, and then he's, and then he falls over the side. He goes out like a chump. No, Snorri, I like, out of all the fucking End Times Gotrek and Felix stuff, Snorri was something I could accept. That was something that I believe should have just been the way. That was the right way to do it. I could not think of any other thing to happen to Snorri. I thought his send-off was, the saddest of all of them, actually. The saddest of all. Yep. Nah, he's great. Snorri, every time Snorri's in the story, he's always fun. Like, you can't not root for Snorri. Until the very end. Even though you kind of still want to root for him, but you can't redeem him. Like, what he did was terrible. Nose biter. Snorri the goat. Father Rust Skull. I loved all the Slayers. Like Roddy and fucking Bjorny Bjornsson. That guy was fucking hilarious. That dude is so vile. Anytime they talk about Bjorny, like I think he showed up in it was before Manslayer. Was it? It might have been Dragon Slayer. Yeah, I haven't read. Like I've read them all, but I'm not current on Dragon Slayer. I know the beats of it, but like where people enter and where they leave, kind of a different story. But they're very fun. The Slayers are always fun. They're always their own unique kind of like individual, you know, they've got their shame, they have their reason for being there, and they all have their own personalities, and it's awesome. Bjorny Bjornsson, Uli was the younger dwarf with Bjorny, I believe. There was a guy in Vampire Slayer who was pretty good. There was 2 of them. 3 of them, actually. Well, 2 of them. They had a Leatherbeard in... Leatherbeard was cool. He was Giga Chad in Orc Slayer. Actually, he was pretty impressive. Yeah, Leatherbeard was sick. The Slayers from Elf Slayer. Let me think back. The Slayers from Elf Slayer. You talking about... Well, you say Slayer. You're talking about the slaves? The dwarf slaves? Yeah, no, that was great. Yeah, the slaves were good. No, everyone roots for Gotrek, but Gotrek has like some of the he's a brick. Like Gotrek doesn't really have much personality, and that's kind of his charm. He's as blunt as possible. He just wants to get shit done. Whereas all the other Slayers are kind of like, you know, there's a little bit more going on. Gottrek's just a doer. He doesn't want to say anything. He's like, you shut the fuck up, let's go. Right? Or he's not going to say much. Yeah. That was, yeah. Nah, Gottrek's sick. Gottrek's badass. But Gottrek is kind of a one-noter, I find. Yeah, well, I've got Snorri right here. The only mini they've ever made of him. Right here. Nosebiter. When they were young. When the world was clean of the end times. Wine is for children and elves. The snotling fondlers. Yeah. Well, again, Gottrek's just a one-noter, man. He's not really... I guess he's not really meant to be much, because the main star of the Gottrek and Felix books are Felix. Or is Felix, really. It should be called Felix and Gottrek, but Gottrek and Felix kind of comes off better. Because everything in those books is from the lens of Felix. It's like how he sees the dwarves, how, you know... He goes about his adventures and dealing with Gottrek kind of looking for his doom. Yeah, it is a Felix story, absolutely. Even though it's mostly Felix being, you know, trotted along by Gottrek. He's like, come here, manling, we got shit to do. Oh, it's a horrible send-off. Felix literally has one of the stupidest, not like, is that really it? You're flipping the page and it's like, wait, is there more? And it's like, no, there's not. Okay. Like, Gottrek had a really good send-off, but Felix was just, like, absolutely dumpstered. But I will say this, if you've read any of the Age of Sigmar Gottrek books, Felix isn't in Shaiish. Felix isn't in the realm of, you know, his soul isn't there. We don't know where Felix is in Age of Sigmar. Nobody does. And in a way, I want Felix back because I want him to show up and be like, holy shit, it's Gotrek and Felix reunited. But then you'd have this dynamic of like, in the Gotrek books, it's mostly Gotrek, right? Like the Age of Sigmar ones. And you don't want Felix being the lead anymore. He had his like 13 books of it, 14, whatever it was, and you know, give Gotrek his time in the sun now, because Felix had his, and like, for that reason, I kind of don't want him back, but I want him to be alive. I want more, dude, I want the Slayer minis. I want, like, Bjorny Bjornsson. I want him. They'll never make him, but, like... Oh, my God. Yo, 5 gifted subs. Thank you, brother. Sorry that was so fucking loud. Thanks, man. Bjorny Bjornsson was this, like, super horny, terrible, disgusting, ugly, like, just vile Slayer. But he was always just down to do shit. He was kind of a doer, not a thinker. Like, whenever Felix, whenever they were writing about it, it's like, oh, Felix was looking around and noticed the most disgusting, ugly, repulsive, putrid-looking thing he's ever seen. And then it's like Bjorny Bjornsson, with the big, beat-up nose, and he's got, like, a giant fucked-up wart. The young one was Uli. Yeah, Uli. I like those guys. All the Slayers were, like, the most fun in the books. All the dwarves were the most fun. All of the dwarves. That's why people love dwarves. They don't take everything so seriously 24/7, but when they do, Jesus Christ, they don't shut up. Yo. Well, yeah, every character needs a gimmick, right? That's what makes them them. Snorri is just a brainlet. Gottrek's a one-note doomslayer. Felix is the everyday man. Bjorny's the horny, you know, ugly guy. Uli's the young, like, kind of, loudmouth, I think he was. Yeah. They're good. There's a lot of good, like, Warhammer fantasy books, but there's so many characters in Gotrek and Felix that you just cannot, like, not love. And then people want to do Slayer armies, right? Leatherbeard as well, like, from, the Elfin... yeah, he did. Yeah, I remember, I read the books, and then I would go back and I would listen to the audiobooks because I kind of wanted that, like, thematic retelling of it with the voice acting. And, it's just hilarious listening to Jonathan Keeble kind of, like, talk like the elf from Elfslayer. Because anytime he speaks, he's very, like, you know, sure of himself, pompous, like, what is this bathroom? I'm from Ulthuan. This is disgusting. Get this out of my sight, right? Like, and the dwarf is just, yeah, let me take a shit or something, right? His voice acting is just, it's so funny. He does a good job. He does the books a service, for sure. I love it. If you could ever read the books and then listen to the audiobook, man, like, it's so good. It's so fresh, too. It's not like, oh, I gotta do this again twice. It's like, no, it's a different experience. Lovely. Manling! Yeah, Jonathan Keeble is, he is the voice of Gotrek and Felix. I can't think of... They got Brian Blessed for, Kemmler was this wretch. Yeah, Kemmler was, when he voiced him, he did, like, or it was like Hans the Hermit, right? And then he turned to, like, it's Kemmler! Like a goblin. Yeah, yeah. I mean, Nah, I love it. No, Keeble's great. He's really cool. They're just movies that will never get made. Hans the Hermit. It's cool that they're bringing Gottschalk and Felix to people these days, because, like, either you go on eBay and you buy all the individual novels, good luck, and then you can read it, or you just buy the audiobook and you read it, or you listen to it today, right? Which is more convenient for people that don't have time. So it's better that this stuff is read or listened to than, like, completely forgotten. Because I think Games Workshop still sells the first omnibus, the 3rd edition of the omnibus, which is the best. But, like, you'd never get the whole experience. Orc Slayer is my favorite book of the bunch, for sure. Everyone said Nathan Long, you know, Nathan O is writing this and that. I'm like, bro, Nathan Long's stuff is pretty fun. Yeah, Lick, peace, buddy. Take it easy, man. Thanks again. Take it easy, sir. Oh, there's a bunch of Gottschalk and Felix books. They've got one centered around, like, Mordheim. They have one with Ungrim and Peak Pass. One with the Tomb Kings and traveling over there. They have 2 short stories that were only audiobooks that are now on thing, I believe, Audible. One of them, I believe they're in Marienburg. Another one is, can't remember the other one. I think it's called Curse of the Unliving, or Underliving or something. Yeah, well, they're written by different people. That's why. They were books that were written to kind of give you something to read, but, like, it breaks a little bit of continuity. It is what it is, you know? It's like, well, at least we get a book. Because that book was very dwarfy, right? Like, fuck, what was it called? Road of Skulls. The dwarf stuff is great. Road of Skulls. Road of Skulls is, yeah, you'll like, if you like dwarves, I mean, it's a dwarf book. For the Gottschalk and Felix stuff, I mean, you've got, like, short stories, you got a bunch of other ones, but they're pretty much done. You know, all the old Warhammer stuff is obviously concluded, but if you want to keep up with Gottschalk and Age of Sigmar, he's got a bunch. Again, right now I'm trying to go back and, I just bought the Ulrika series, because, like, you know, you read the End Times, you're like, Ulrika who? Like, really? Because she had 3 books get released, and she's part of Gottschalk and Felix, you know, the earlier years. She is Felix's, like, you know, really big love interest in most of the early books, and then eventually she's not. But I'm hoping this series does something for her, because, like, she's really thrown away like trash. And it's a Gottschalk and Felix character. Yeah, no, Gottschalk is, he would have done something. I'm the same. I'm like, I don't care about vampires, but I didn't like Ulrika going out the way she did. And I'm like, there needs to be something in here that I care about. She's still Gottschalk. It's still Gottschalk and Felix. Like, even if they're not there most of the time, I'm sure. It's still a character that I like. I mean, fuck. Like, Malachi Makaisen, what's his name? Gustav Jaeger, right? Like, those two, where the fuck are they? You know, they do have a little bit of lore. They mention them in the new, not new, but like the Age of Sigmar books. And there's really nothing on them. Like, yeah, it's really, really lazy. Malachi is sick. Now, bro, they meet him and he's got a red dot fucking sniper rifle. Like, come on, bro. What fucking dwarf is gonna have a red dot in Warhammer Fantasy but Malachi Makaisen? Like, seriously. Like, come on, dude. That's such a Malachi thing. It's like, whatever you have in Warhammer Fantasy, Malachi's taking it a step further. It works. Fantasy... One cool story where he attacked Terra from the Iron Warriors. That's cool. I mean, I don't even know if it's the same. I'm pretty sure they make it a different person, a different demon. Maybe there is kind of the similar thing going on, but I'm not sure. Oh, gotcha. Well, they gave Bellicor a new big mini, right? But what was the story that trailed behind that? Because there must have been something relevant, something that people cared about. Yeah. Well, he's just a dude, right? He's just a guy. He's your everyday man. He has no real ego or anything. He's just a dude trying to get by and, you know, not really support his family in the end, but wanting to see them. He's just, oh, I guess we have to do this. Let's go. You know? But he has kind of been through everything. But no, those End Times books are complete dog shit ass. Very boo-boo, poo-poo. Oh, possibly. I mean, Karagul, certainly had a hand in that, right? Like, Gotrek and Felix are not normal people. Karagul and, you know, one of Grimnir's axes, right? Being big players in how they have survived. But, you know, what is a Chaos Warrior? Same deal. Chaos Warriors are enhanced. Worst literature GW ever put out? Well, it's because they just try to wrap up everything, right? It's like, we got Age of Sigmar, let's go. Kill everyone. Hurry up. Even if it don't make sense, we got shit to do. We got money to make. I need to go back and buy those books, unironically. I think I only own Glotkin and, be it they're not even the novels. I think I own Glotkin and I own, Thanquil. Oh, I've listened to some of the Gotrek books. I like them. I was reading, what was it? I was reading the Grombrindle Tales of the Wanderer. That was good. Anything dwarf related, I'm in for. I picked up the first Gotrek book, like, well, you can't, well, they did it eventually, but, like, when they initially launched Gotrek into Age of Sigmar, they released the audiobooks, Realm Slayer and then Blood of the Old World. Those are amazing. Pretty solid. I like them. As for regular Age of Sigmar novels, it's not really my jam. Yeah, I've got that Gotrek. Felix picked up Grimnir's Hammer in the third book. Third one was, Demon Slayer, right? Demon Slayer? That was a good one. I don't remember every beat of it, but I loved the part when they're in the dwarf hold. That was, like, easily, like, that was sick. That was cool. They had, like, the whole fucking Mjolnir looking ass thing. the dwarf king, like, threw it and it came back with, like, lightning. Yeah, and they get to witness all the different chaos tribes going at it. Orc and Necron books? Right now I'm just not even into 40k, man. I loved orcs for the longest time, and I know right now is probably the golden age of orcs. But I really just, it doesn't sing to me like it used to. I'm kind of just going back to the past and finding old gems and rereading old things that I loved growing up. That's where I'm at. Like, Warhammer Fantasy, although Warhammer 40k is my childhood, Fantasy is my childhood, strategy battle game, Blood Bowl, everything GW. If I grew up with it, most of it. And, I prefer the old stuff. The new stuff, although I'm sure is great, it's just I have more things to do in the past before I go relearn. Or not relearn, but, like, read new things, I should say. There's just so much Warhammer content. I can't even be fucked with anything new. The last thing I read was Chronicles of the Wanderer, Age of Sigmar, Grombrindle manifesting himself throughout the realms as, like, different dwarves to guide the dwarves into a better direction. That was it, and I think that was 2 years ago. So yeah, as for content, too much. Elves. I'm not really a fan of elves. If I was forced at gunpoint to like elves, I'd probably like the Wood Elves solely for thematics. Oh, there's so many books. Yeah, there's Warhammer is like an all-encompassing hobby. You got the books, you got the shows, you got the miniatures, you got the games, you got the board games, you have the toys, you have the collectibles, you have everything. Warhammer is like a life choice at this point. Yeah, Warhammer is very popular. 68 novels. Have fun reading that shit. I'm not interested. It's better content. It's better to get something than nothing. Right? I guess, if it's done well, I should say. I need, where do you guys use fucking sanding sponges? You guys buy these? Where do you buy them? Because sanding sponges are so good. Well, Star Wars is like a very mainstream, accessible, very everyone-friendly IP. Warhammer was never that, and Warhammer will never be that. It makes sense that Star Wars doesn't really scratch certain niches because it's very safe. You know, now with Warhammer being more of a mainstream thing, like, that's what they're going to be doing. They're going to make it a bit more safe. I don't think you'll get titties on Slaanesh minis anymore. Maybe I'm wrong, but... Well, no, Slaanesh is in Age of Sigmar. Well, they're cults and whatnot, but they're very, they're going past the point of, like, the whole sex thing, and they're doing more of the gluttonous, you know, everything in excess. Doesn't have to just be pleasure. It's still there, but you can tell it's a little bit toned back. Which, to me, I mean, demons should be, or even demon worshippers, should be pretty grotesque. Like, you know, make some cultists with, like, nipple piercings and shit and all that. Like, fucking BDSM gear running around. It's like, good God, people. Kill them. It's horrible to look at. Kill them. But that's what they are. Slaanesh do be like that. Yeah, 3 nipples. Fucking Total Recall the squad. Yeah, old Warhammer demons, like the Juan Diaz, like demonettes and stuff like that, they were very... Or even, I don't know who sculpted the horrors, but they're very grotesque. There was a certain point in time, I think it was around like 2005, 2004, something like that, where demons were very disgusting to look at. In a good way. These are this is an old Black Library diorama. It's Gotrek and Felix with like Max Schreiber, Snorri Nosebiter, and Ulrika Magdova. It's an old diorama. They're 30% bigger because they were meant for like painting and display pieces. They're not meant for gaming. But it is Games Workshop. It's just kind of it's a display piece. It's not, you know, game piece. I've got a backlog of like rare old minis that I kind of want to, you know, build. I've had them for ages. They've been sitting in boxes for so many years, and I've been pulling a lot of stuff out of storage, so I'm just trying to, you know, display my collection and make the money's worth from what I paid way back when. Retail. Good pricings, not eBay pricings. Yeah, these are old. Yeah, they used to have a lot of, I mean, they did, like, rare Eldar minis from way back when. What rare stuff? It's all dwarf-related. I've got, like, the gold-plated 30th anniversary store miniature. I've got the unreleased Dwarf Lord sprue. I've got some unreleased medals. I've got Bugman's Bar-related stuff that were unreleased to the public. Anything GW Vintage, unreleased, staff gifts, all that stuff, I collect that stuff. I've been doing it for ages. I'm always looking for the ones I don't have, but they're very hard to get a hold of because they're only released internally. I know a few people, like I've talked to a few people who work for Games Workshop. I've bought from them. I always ask the question, I'm like, hey, you got these lying around? They're like, oh, I know what those are, but it's really finding the right people because it's so niche, right? Very, very niche. These gloves are large, yeah, they're a bit big. I've got the old War Master stuff that I'd love to build one day. The little epic scaled fucking dwarven like airships and everything, those are cool. Love it. Just not it's not a system people play anymore. In the future, probably, yeah. Yeah, in the future. I'm the closest thing I have to painting is my spearhead that I've been working on for like probably a month. And I'm still cleaning up things and sculpting things, so it's just taking forever. But ideally, I get to it, and I want to paint it, and I just want to go play. Because Spearhead is supposed to be the easiest thing to do, yet I've got like 10 Caradron, you know, Arcanaut company, because that's what it comes with. I'm doing the Caradron stuff. And fuck, if you were a normal person, you'd spend a weekend building 10 guys. I spent like a week building one fucking guy with 1 billion conversions. So it just takes a long time. Takes a very long time. DJ, yo. First Primarch cast from Kabuki. I've never heard of that. Is it like a custom company? I find it very hard to enjoy custom companies or like third-party anything. Some of it looks good, but I'm really stuck with like the GW nostalgic aesthetic. Because for me, that's what Warhammer is. It's like a lot of nostalgia. It's these things that I grew up with that I still love to this day, and you know, it brings me back to a time when things were simpler. where there were no taxes and no health problems, and you could fucking wake up and do whatever the fuck you wanted because you were young. Good times. People made you food. Yep. Now I spend a shit ton of money on food because that's life. Stop bulking. I'll just stop eating. And yeah, the new 40K stuff has a lot of details. This is the old Ulrika model. Gotrek and Felix. Oh my god, my love. Felix, I love you so much. Please, I don't want to be a vampire. Please don't chop my head off. I loved you, Felix, but I have to die now after doing nothing. Unfortunately. Miniatures Dan, yo, buddy. Hello, sir. I think every time I see you streaming, you're doing the, you still working on that big vampire thing? The big, ghoulie? Oh, nice, yeah. Nah, it's like serious business, man. That takes a long time. When you're good at what you do, you take a lot of time to do it. Or shouldn't it be the other way around? I'm not sure. Maybe both? Nice. Well, you say Golden Demon entries. How many things are you entering? You know, if I had time, I'd love to enter Golden Demon. I've got so many weird ideas for, like, little dwarf dioramas and things, but... that'd be cool. 7 entries. Oh my god. I'm assuming you're going for different categories, obviously. Like, 1 per each. That's cool. Is there only 7 different categories? William King strong suit. Felix and Max had more chemistry between... Yeah, they did. I mean... I liked Ulrika. I guess she was cool for what it was, but... kind of a throwaway character. 40 Graveguard is so painful since that... the old plastic... I mean... yeah, they're a bit tedious to clean up, but they're not that bad. Not the worst. 12 or 13 total. That's cool. That's really, really cool. What do you get for entering? Do you just get a pin? Well, actually, let me ask you this. Do you have to pay to enter? Do you have to pay anything to enter, or can you just say, like, hey, I'm doing it, and here it is? And I mean, you know, with William King or anything making, you know, the female characters in the books, it's like a dude novel, right? Like, everything about Gotrek and Felix is just dudes. It's like, yo, dude, that's cool, dude. Right? Like, they did some of the main female characters in Gotrek and Felix were what? Kat, Ulrika. I think that's it. I actually think that's it, yeah. Well, there was a few other ones that were love interests, actually. Kirsten, who I think dies, like, in the first bit. It's dude books. One's a stinky little short thing with an axe who wants to die and kill everything, and the other is just like an everyday guy. Well, Malineth, she's a little bit more interesting. Yeah, well, because she's also kind of like in Felix's place, right? The girl and Serpent Queen. Yeah, there's, they're not really... I guess the idea is just they're not really much. Like, yeah, for sure, Kat and Ulrika are the two biggest ones, but... Most people get nothing, though. You gotta pay the entry ticket, which is $30. $30 per category. The pin is if you work... was liked by the judges, commended when the judges considered your entry to win a trophy. You get a bronze and silver. Gotcha. That's cool. 30 total? Okay. Oh, that's not bad. I mean, you have to go to the UK, right? I'm assuming you have to travel to Warhammer World for the event, right? Dude, I still need a connection in Nottingham. If you live in Nottingham, hit me up. Oh, at Adepticon, do they really? In Germany. Oh, so you don't need to go to Nottingham. I figured it was always at Warhammer World. Interesting, I didn't know that. I'm sure everyone's work is just incredible, because it is. You know? If I had all the free time in the world and I could paint competition pieces or even fucking paint something, that'd be cool. I don't know. It's very time consuming, I should say, obviously. Especially if you're working on, like you said, 7 different fucking entries, like that's a lot. It's cool though. You know, endless inspiration, you just make whatever you want and paint whatever you want and bring it in. For me, it's not quite as fun. Why do it then? If it's not fun, why do it? You gotta love what you're doing, no? Oh, you want to kind of like show what you're doing for work. Yeah. Is it like an advertising thing? It's like, hey, look, I was a golden demon guy. Maybe is that it? Yeah, that's cool. Hey, yeah, I respect it. Makes sense. I mean, art can always be pushed and pursued, like, to no end. I'm pretty sure no one has perfected art. You can always get better, and you can always kind of look to improve, obviously. There's always ways. I feel like I would be really good at competition painting if I really, really tried, because I obsess. But I obsess to the point where it becomes unhealthy. Which is probably not good. I'm very bad at putting things down and accepting it's done. It's just a matter of, like, you know, getting to that point, I suppose.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
You are lucky subs are on a discount.
Banatu, thank you, buddy. Am I really? God bless you. It's September. Everyone should sub. Wow. You get big discounts for Jeff Bezos. Thank you. The Bezos bucks, baby. Well, hey, I don't know, man. You do you. Ulrika. It's the old Gotrek and Felix diorama model. Ulrika. Still kind of a dwarf. It's a dwarf friend thing. Probably not named a dwarf friend, but it's close enough. She was with some dwarves in a book. Cleaning metal minis, you just don't know what the fuck you're looking at half the time. You just don't chop too much out, and you scrape a little bit at a time out, and you're good, but, like, holy fuck, what is any of this? Filthy bloodsucker and an oathbreaker. Well, okay, she was at one point a dwarf friend. Ish. She knew a dwarf friend. Yeah, later down the line, okay, she got bad. She went rogue. Because this is when they were, not troubled. This diorama is, I think, based on just, like, first few King books. You know, I like that Games Workshop brings out miniatures from books. I wish there was more of that, because that's fucking cool. Like, I would have loved so many more minis. Just like a commemorative Black Library series or something, you know? Did Caiaphas Cain ever get a mini? How the fuck is Ulrika gonna get a mini, but not Caiaphas Cain, right? Nope. Weird. He might have. I don't know. Gaunt did with his guys. Were the Last Chancers, were Schaefer's Last Chancers a book? Was that a book? It looked like dog water. Yeah, okay. I am not aware. They did? Okay, well, that's cool. I had those. I had the Last Chancers growing up. They were cool. Post it in my Discord. Go to the stream section in my Discord. If you go to stream related, post it in stream related. I'm kind of curious as to what he looked like. Sure, it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I did see those guys. They look pretty good. I like that, though. If you like the book, you know, you pick up the mini, you're like, oh, that's cool. Oh, it doesn't really do anything. Kind of just looks like it looks all right, I guess. It's not amazing. Grifolian, yep. Well, I mean, if they keep releasing minis based on books, that's cool. I respect it. We need more old world books now. Let's write a book about, you know, one of the dwarves, and let's get a new dwarf mini. That'd be cool. Do they really? Stuff like that's great, though. All these little one-off minis that people can buy that have no baggage, but can be used in your army if you like the mini, and it makes sense for the army you're playing. That's cool, yeah. Yep, scalped. eBay. Yep, the usual. Welcome to eBay. Welcome to eBay, gentlemen. Your chances of survival. Your bank's survival. Okay, I'm about to be done cleaning these, at least cleaning them to the point where I'm satisfied. I gotta go wash them, so I'm gonna take like a 5-minute break. Krell, yeah, I mean, I don't know if he'd ever come back, but he's cool. Pretty sure he was also released in Finecast, unfortunately. That's a Juan Diaz sculpt. Krell is a Juan Diaz. I mean, if it's metal, what did you strip it with? Because metal paint on metal should come off super easily, and it won't destroy the mini. If it's not metal, I mean, good luck, but... Oh, yeah. Okay, well, Finecast, I got nothing to say. Yeah, it's most likely not going to be the best for, like, stripping. It's a sick game where, like... Ideally, you'd want metal, but working with metal sucks, so sometimes you want the Finecast, because working with Finecast is better if the cast is better. Cleaning up resin is infinitely easier than cleaning up metal. Because it's soft. It's very easy to clean. But... you know... Okay, I need to take this to the sink, and I need to thoroughly douse these in, like, soap and water. It's easier to damage the resin, for sure. I mean, it's just... some minis, you'll never get anything other than metal. Hold on. I need to go wash these. Then I will glue them. Hmm... Okay, beer back. Okay. I need to clean up my desk now. Oh my god, I can fucking breathe. I can breathe, but not really because there's dust everywhere. Yeah, the problem with cuts on your hands is you don't want any of this shit in you. Nope. I'm good. I need to buy more sandpaper. I just gotta figure out where the fuck I have to go get it. I want to buy it locally if I could. 1,000 grit is amazing. You cannot go wrong with 1,000 grit on literally anything. Metal minis, plastic minis, everything is 1,000 grit. It's perfect. It's just a matter of finding who sells 1,000 grit sponges and not Amazon, if I can help it. Clean these up later. Hardware store? Hardware stores don't sell sponges, no. Not like the miniature sponges for like Gundams and shit. No, they won't do that. It's usually the Gundam stores who charge way too much. But, you know, it's part of the hobby. The price. Getting shafted. Because the sponges are better than the paper. They're more durable. They feel better in the hands to use. They don't just crumble in like 3 seconds. Way better, for sure. I'll probably go look. They have a couple of stores around, like 20, 30-minute drive, something like that. It'd be worth it. Can never go wrong with getting more tools. I gotta take 2 more things, actually. All right. Cool. 389, yo, buddy. All right. We should be good. Should be okay. I just need to dry these off, and then I glue them, and then they are done, and then they go on the shelf, and then they one day get painted, even though I don't think they need to be painted, but we will see. Shit. As much as I would love to paint these, they're preferably not to be ruined anytime soon. Bum, 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 bum. Also, while I'm at it, I can change the music again. Ba-bum, bow, ba-bum, ba-bum. So Felix is there. Max Schreiber's 2 pieces. All right. There he is, thankfully. It's so crazy to me that they even sculpt detail behind him that I don't think you even see. Yeah, you literally don't even see it. Like, these guys sculpted a pouch and everything, but you never see it. New GW minis, they'd be like, what a waste of fucking money. Get back to the digital. Which, to be fair, they're great. But, you know, don't want to waste sculpting space, I suppose. Bottrek is 2 pieces, I believe. Should be, yeah. Cool. Redguard, yo, buddy. This is already dry. Bottrek. Ulrika. I haven't even looked into that. There's a new, what are they, like stone or something? What are they supposed to be? Is it a new playable, like, alliance race, you mean? This is good. Okay, so I need to glue these now. Good enough for me. It's not permanent glue, so, hey, if I want to go back and clean them up properly, I will. Yeah, gotcha. I mean, that's cool. Isn't that literally their passive? Flesh to stone or whatever the fuck that is, where it gives you, like, defensive stats? Is that a Dorito? It's a chrome Dorito. Chrome Rito. Okay. We need to glue. Latouche glue. Latouche. Metal paint is tasty. I hope not. People lick their brushes. People lick their brushes, they eat the paint, they do everything. If it was made, humans have eaten it. Even if it's not edible. I need to get activator. I gotta hit it. You know what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna leave. After I'm done gluing these, I'm gonna go get some fucking hobby supplies. It's my off day anyways. It's Saturday. Sunday, we got Dead Space. Tonight, I'm gonna play League, but today's my off day. Today is I Am a Human Day. I've got human things to do. Yeah, I don't know about that one. ARAM Clash. I never want to play ARAM. ARAM is ass. If people said League of Legends was a waste of time and queued up for ARAM, I would agree. ARAM is not something I enjoy. There's nothing fun about ARAM. Good heavens. ARAM is the least enjoyable thing. You know what I do want to play, though, is Clash. I want the Bilgewater banner. That's what I'd love. I regret not doing it so many years ago when it was around. I really regret it. I'd totally go back and do it again if they released it. And it's such a minor thing, but, like, it's cool. It's a Bilgewater banner in your lane. It's like, yo, come front Bilgewater, you know? Or Noxus, Ionia. Whatever it may be, you can get those banners. It's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold this for about 30 years. Oh my god. Fake pirate, true. Very true. Oh, I said I had to hold it for 30 years and it just glued. Wow, look at that. Convenient. Although I'm kind of scared to move it now. I'll give it like a minute. I need weights. I need something heavy on this table, actually. Anything to hold it up. Cool. Probably Max would be fine next. No, this is just Warhammer Fantasy. It's not cities or anything. It is not Cities of Sigmar. I'm not even going to be, you know, Cities of Sigmar next year is going to get a big revamp. I'm not spending a dime on that army. No time, no money. I'm going to wait until the dwarves get released proper in cities, and then I'll take a look. I really wanted to build a cities army, but, like, I'm kind of glad I never finished it because all of it got canned. And it got canned real quick. Which was to be expected because, you know, they don't want to mix, like, Age of Sigmar and Warhammer Fantasy stuff now that Fantasy's back. So, supposedly, because of leaks, we're going to be getting a lot of new stuff next year for cities, and I just don't want to play it. It's good. Nullifying Orb and, like, Celerity is good. Celerity is really good. It's like free boots. Free pseudo boots. No, I played multiplayer for a long time. I wasn't really a campaign guy. I think right now, if I was to play it again, I'd probably play campaign. I'm not really... Total War multiplayer is very, it's tough if you don't keep up with it. Certainly not my thing. And I've played thousands of hours of multiplayer, and, you know, I'd be down to give campaign a try. And I know Dwarves just got an update with their whole deep system, which is cool. The thing is with Total War is I don't have time. And I don't have time because I do the actual hobby, and then I also stream. And then I also have just other things in life that I'm doing. So, like, if I'm going to devote time to Warhammer, it's going to be physical or it's going to be books. Which is physical. So, you know, I'm kind of taking a step back from the games. No, they're going to be gone from cities. Yeah, apparently they're going to be having their own thing. It's been in lore for a while now. I'm going to say this. Fuck. If you like anything Warhammer Fantasy and you still see it in Age of Sigmar, don't do it. Because it's going to be gone. Do not spend your money. Don't waste your time. Wait for the actual Age of Sigmar equivalent release, or just play Old World. Right? Like, if you really love Dark Elves, don't do it. Don't play the city's Dark Elves. If they're still there, don't do any of that stuff. You're wasting your time. Man, my gloves are shit. And I think that's a good distinction, though, where, like, Games Workshop, you know, you have the Old World, and you have Age of Sigmar. So get everything fantasy out of Age of Sigmar. It is a new universe. It's what happened to everything. You know, continue the story. Don't keep looking at, like, the old stuff. The old stuff can live on. It just needs to live in Warhammer Fantasy, or, like, the Old World now. We don't need things in Age of Sigmar that are fantasy. Sorry, I'm trying to do this. Miniatures, that stuff I can't. Like, right now, I'm still building up a lot of stuff. When I had everything complete was years ago before I sold it all. I still kept a lot of stuff, but, like, my completed armies all went for fairly decent money. Dwarf army, Empire army, orcs and goblins, my guard, my orcs. I just don't have anything anymore that I've got done. Childhood things I still have a bit of, but... Oh, shit, brother. Oop. Oh, it's not even in. It's not even in properly. Well, Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer the Old World, all that stuff is, I would actually say, is it poppin'? Is it poppin'? I don't know. In certain scenes, in certain places of the world, it may be poppin'. I think overall as a game, probably not. Fucking glue is on my glove. It wasn't the golden goose, but it was the golden, it was something, it's from the heart. Warhammer Fantasy was from the heart. Age of Sigmar's from the bank account. You know what I mean? When one box of Space Marines completely outsells an entire range of minis, you know it's a little bit of a problem. It is a little bit of a problem. Wild statement. I mean, Warhammer Fantasy for the longest time was like the thing for Games Workshop, right? It's just such a beloved universe that, like, them bringing it back is money, obviously, but, like, nah, that's where the heart lives. That's the heart of Warhammer, dude. Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Felix. Felix Jaeger. I'd love to change the song, but I can't. Oh yeah, 40K is the 40K is a cash cow. That shit is. You want money, you make the Space Marines. For sure. You know, people love them though. It's not like, oh, you brainlet sheeple, you know, look at you and your Space Marines. It's like, yeah, people love them. When I was a kid, I liked Space Marines, but I'm not really into them anymore. I was on eBay and I was looking at a lot of the old kits I grew up with, and I'm like, damn, memories. Sweet memories. I thought about going back for nostalgia's sake and, like, picking up kits that I just remember fondly. Like, you know, my buddy a long time ago got me a Metal Hellhound, and, you know, I remember with my grandfather, it was the Gondorian Knights, or the Knights of Gondor. I've got a lot of, like, my dwarf nostalgia with me, but other random kits, you know, the old TAC Marines, with the Goblin Green bases, stuff like that. Well, some things made it, some things didn't. Yeah, the Wood Elves didn't get anywhere. What are the elves in Age of Sigmar? You've got, like, the Lumineth, which are the High Elves. You've got whatever the fuck's going on with, like, Marathi's things. Are the Wood Elves still kicking? They need to kick the bucket. But, you know, are they still around? Oh, the Sylvaneth. Yeah, no shit, eh? Yeah, okay, never mind. Ideneth, those are the new ones, yeah. Well, actually, who made the Ideneth? Wasn't it Teclis? Everything's a high elf, god damn it. No, these are OG metal. You know, I do actually like Age of Sigmar, and I think I like Age of Sigmar more than 40k, but just because it's in the vein of fantasy. The Umbraneth, yeah. The future Dark Elves, they'll come. You just got to give them time. They've got other shit they want to do first, and, you know. Like, again, we've had leaks. We've had supposed recent leaks on dwarves for cities, and everything I heard, holy shit, you got, like, the Dwarven fucking Engineers Guild coming out, basically, that aren't Caradron, but we're talking, like, Cities of Sigmar dispossessed creations. From what we heard. So, that's fucking cool. I want the classic dispossessed creations. You know, some Cities of Sigmar, Engineers Guild looking crap. Wouldn't be crap, but you know what I mean. These are old school, this is a diorama. This is a Gotrek and Felix diorama from, like, Black Library. You can no longer buy these. They're pretty rare. I'm just building the one that I have. What the hell even is this pose for Snorri? Is this even right? Snorri model. Snorri Nosebiter. Oh, it is correct. What a weird mini. With the shine? With the shine? I mean, this is just metal minis. They're not painted. The new roadmap they released? I mean, I'm just gonna hope. Listen, I'm gonna pray we get more dwarves. I love dwarves. Pray for the dwarves. Not for the elves. Fuck the elves. Although, you know what? Dwarves are better when there are elves, because then you got more things to kill. Yeah. I mean, it should always be what looks cool is what you get into. Who cares how things perform? Unless you're like a meta gamer and you only want to play the game, which who the fuck does? Warhammer is kind of a hobby that people get into because you can be very creative and kind of be artistic, you know, do your thing. Some people love the game. I get it. I've loved the game. I've played the game. Multiple editions, different editions, whatever it may be. And, shit. What do I even do here? Hang on. Where does this dagger go? Where does this Ulrika dagger go? Exactly. Like, yeah, it's not even about you have to play the games. You have to read the lore. Like, you can do anything. It's art. Like, if you love the look of the minis, paint the minis. Do whatever you want. Make the minis. It's not a hobby that forces you to do anything. You just do whatever you want. It's your money. You buy it. Like, if you want to buy Warhammer and use it for Monopoly, for God's sake, go do it. You know? Ulrika Warhammer model. Oh, it just goes right there. No shit. It is draped in front of her. Ulrika Magdova. I'm not pinning these. I'm never going to play with these. This is just a diorama. I'm probably even going to crack them apart one day and just paint them properly. I'm sick of having things lie around in boxes. I want to build them. I want to put them on either display or put them in an army. So I'm not pinning any of these. Yeah. There's no reason to pin them unless you're playing. Like, these would never get game time. Caradron Spearhead, but instead of dwarves, it's a bunch of Kitbash creature pirates. You know what I wanted to do? You know what's so sad that I didn't think of before I started my Engineers Guild Caradron stuff? I could have done Slayer Pirates. I've got long-drawn Slayer Pirates. I also have a Marienburg landship that could double as, like, a literal pirate airship. I could have done that. Like, they've got the flintlocks, they've got the cutlasses, they've got the broken beer bottles and everything, or not beer, but, you know, rum. Yeah, that's it. That was something I thought about. I could have easily done that for the Caradron Spearhead. But, you know. Spearhead's very fun for, like, just ideas. I mean, Warhammer, there's a lot going on, but you kind of pick your poison. Whatever you think you like, that's what you look into. You don't need to know everything about Warhammer to love it. I certainly don't know everything about Warhammer Fantasy, and I've been with the fantasy universe for a long time, but that's just because I choose not to. Fuck. You can just kind of go after what your interest is. Do you like dwarves? Okay, there's only dwarf stuff, then read that. Humans, orcs, elves, whatever it may be. You don't need to know everything. If you know everything about Warhammer, that's great, but I don't have that time. And I don't have that interest. You know, it would be cool to know more about it, but, like, typically when I gravitate towards universes, there's always something in it that draws me that's more special than other stuff. But, you know, I still do love the entire Warhammer world. It's just I don't want infinite amounts of, you know, information on it. Because there's a lot. Yeah, well, I'm not going to putty these. If I was really putting them together, I'd spend 3 years scraping lines, sanding things down. Again, these are display pieces, but this is more of, like, the history of Games Workshop than it is something I plan on using. So I don't mind that it's not perfect. Again, it's better together on a shelf than it is in pieces in a bag. I could put this in the freezer, pop everything out, clean it up properly, get the mold lines, get everything, and then putty it, but yeah. Vader, yo, buddy. Total War is Warhammer Fantasy. That's what this is. It's the old world, which is currently what it's called, but it came from Warhammer Fantasy. Lucara, thank you, buddy. Yeah. So right now, where it is, Warhammer the Old World, is, it's the prequel to Warhammer Fantasy. It's the prequel to, like, Total War. Yeah, the camera, I've messed around a bit with the camera angle just because I wanted more shit out of my face. So I wanted the light away from me. I want to see my monitors. Just trying things out, you know, whatever's comfortable, honestly. Okay, the only thing left to do is glue Felix's torso, and we're basically done. Pretty sure people who build bigger minis, they use epoxy, but fine.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
Love these streams, they're always so chill and fun to have when I'm relaxing to a campaign.
For sure. Hey, close, thank you, buddy, I appreciate it. Well, I'm trying to find things to do. I do have my spearhead, which I want to actually finish, and that would take up a lot of time on stream, but my hands are cut, and I want to sculpt without wearing gloves, because it's hard to sculpt with the gloves on, I find. So. Felix! Felix! Felix the goat. Where's that Snorri? Snorri the goat? I was framing something and I stabbed a giant, it's mainly like my thumb right here, and my thumb is where I'm kind of like rolling things out and doing things. My knuckles on this hand as well are just kind of like dry, and so they just cracked and they started to bleed. But I was framing pieces of like art, and the tabs that you kind of pull up to kind of, you know, put the piece in and then put the backing on it, it's stabbed into my finger. And I'm just going to give it like a week or so it can heal up, and then I can get back to working on things that I want to work on. But this is good to get done. It's good to just have things on the shelf that you've had for years and otherwise wouldn't be on the shelf. So right now, everything's done gluing, or at least everything is glued. So it's a matter of it sticking, and if it sticks, we're good. If not, well, oops. Life-size model. That's a lot of work. And I'm not very good at sculpting. I'm not good at digital sculpting. I wouldn't even say I'm good at, like, physical sculpting, but the only thing I worked on recently, I've just been doing this, like, very... I gotta clean up this guy's boot. His boot's done. Can't really see it well, but... yeah. Just, like, little straps and gap fillings and things. It's not much, but, you know. I need to go back and clean this up. It's very rewarding, but it's very time-consuming to be good. I, honestly, the idea of I've made my own bits. I've created my own, miniatures. Not miniatures, sorry, like miniature bits. And I've printed them. I printed them here. And I love them, but my issue is that I feel like I'd never be satisfied with what I've made because I can always go back and tweak it. It's a very unhealthy thing if you're a perfectionist, because you always, in your mind, say, hey, I can do this better. I can go back and do this more. Whatever it may be. Like, right now, I'm understanding how to let things go. That's my number one thing in life, is perfection is fucking fake. It's just shit. It doesn't allow you to pursue things because you're so stuck on those things you want to try and perfect. It's okay to sit there and, you know, labor over something that you love and great, but put it the fuck down. I don't know when to put things down. I work too much on it. I sometimes get sick doing it because it's just so much hyper-focusing on one thing. Metal models are the bane of my existence. They're not bad. I think once you've got the right tools, it's very easy to do. Mine is due to the autism I have. Maybe I've got autism too, bro. I'm not kidding. Could be anything. Everyone's got something. You know, whatever it may be, I mean... It's... To even get to that point, though, you need to, like, really push yourself, right? Your craft is something that will never be perfected. You can think you've done it, or other people say, hey, you've done it, it's perfect, but you're always like, I can do better. Okay, well, all of them are done. It's just a matter of putting them on the base. I'm not gluing them to the base, but I need to figure out where they were supposed to go. I think Gotrek was here. He's too heavy to sit. Is he here? He was here. Let me take a look. Gotrek and Felix diorama. Okay, so it's Gotrek, Felix, Snorri, Max, Ulrika. Gotrek. Felix is a big motherfucker. I mean, you gotta glue these down, but I'm not gonna glue them. How do you even? Holy gamoly. They've become so heavy that gluing them down is the only way to do it, but I don't want to glue them down. Does Max even work in the middle? Yeah, he does. Ori's good. Ulrika, oh god. Yeah, they may be somewhat problematic. They're too heavy. I don't want to glue them because, like, eventually if I do want to paint them, I don't want to rip up the resin. I'm totally fine with them all just being put together. I do have museum putty. I could putty the fuck out of them. I think I'll just do that. Cool. Yeah, let's just do that. Yeah, no, that's cool. I mean, hey, when it comes to art, man, things do take a long time. People hone their craft their entire life. When it comes to anything like that, it is something you take with you. Like, I've had Warhammer my whole life. I love it. I'm never going to get over it. Warhammer has been there since day one. It's been there for 27 years. Okay, maybe not day one when I was born, but, like, it's been there long enough for me to love it. If you were born in, like, Warhammer world, that'd be different, but that's not normal. It's going to be a bit rough. Really wonder how I'd do this that isn't permanent. Because, yeah, these guys are kind of too heavy now. I live 30 minutes from Warhammer World. Do you really? Hey, I need a contact at Nottingham. I need to know what goes on in Bugman's Bar. I need some merchandise delivered. Do you know what I mean? I need some good stuff sent over to Canada. I need the packages. I do need to go, though. I really do want to go to Warhammer World. It's on the bucket list.
Shut up, you dickhead, now fuck off!
Babyface Eater, thank you, buddy. Well, yeah, that's what every artist wants to do. Every artist wants to make a living off of their work, and I respect that so much, but it really is fucking hard. Because art is so subjective, so, like, depending on what you do, some of it will be more popular than not. Whatever it is. It's a hard business, man. I respect it. I love art. I understand the struggle of artists and how, you know, wanting to make what you love and turn it into a living is. Yeah, that's cool. It's hard. It's not easy. Okay, that's pretty easy for Max. Nori. Rainston, thank you, dude. Nori nose biter. He's the nose biter. If you want to draw me anything and send me anything, I've got a PO box, which I do believe works, but you know, I need to mail myself something just to make sure my PO box still works. That's the biggest thing, because if it doesn't, I feel bad. Like, don't send me anything until I know it works. People have wanted to send me stuff, and I've just been so, I guess, busy, or just I sometimes forget. Seven years ago. That's just fucking, I don't even know, man. Your shit never made it, but people have sent me other stuff and it's made it. It's very bizarre. I got no clue, bro. You sent me, like, Bugman or something, right? I believe you sent me things from Warhammer World, no? There's a P.O. box on my main channel. Or below this stream, too, there should be one. Again, I need to send myself a package because I don't want people sending me anything unless I know it's going to arrive. And that is the P.O. box address. It's just people have sent it there and it hasn't arrived. So I don't know. I would say don't risk it until I know exactly. Yeah, I can look. There's a few people who do want to, and I think what I'll do is maybe put a package together tonight. I'll put an address on it, and then send it at a different, you know, address, and, oh, send it to myself. Give myself a gift. I mean, I was able to put it together, but, like, how long until it falls apart? Nah, it's okay. It's Ulrika. She's dead anyways. Wait, they're all dead. Never mind. Yeah. Where do you live in Canada? Like, what province? Probably gonna say Quebec, no? Most people say Quebec. Quebec. Alberta. Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. They're out west. Everyone I've dealt with is east side. Other things I can't remember. I can't remember either because they're all gone. Whatever it was, they're gone. Someone got some Bugman's models and they have no fucking clue what they are. Well, you know what? I think that's the best it's going to be. There's the Gotrek and Felix diorama, not painted. It's interesting, but it's... there's no reason for them all to be posed like this. You know, it's just kind of weird, but it's cool. I can at least put it on my shelf and have it made, which is nice, instead of it just being in pieces. That's cool. Feels good to kind of build something, even though it's not complete, but, you know, it's cool. It's just very impossible to not glue them down. Not knowing that I would paint this one day. Thoughts on 3D printing for your hobby? Nothing wrong with it. I did it. The thing is, with 3D printing and purchasing miniatures... okay, I'll say this. The one thing I don't believe in is 3D printing other people's... like, people have scanned Games Workshop pieces and have printed them. That's so bad. I can't agree. That's like... I cannot agree to that. That's awful. But when it comes to custom-made stuff... that's theft. Yeah, it's theft. That's not cool. I would always want the original. Like, I'm just a collector. You know, I play the games and whatnot, but, like, I'd want the original sculpts. But for 3D printing, you know, if you've got, like, your own, whatever it is, a company or this and that, you know, a modeler who puts stuff out, that's cool. You know, I've seen some 3D prints that I want. They're all based on GW artwork. Inspired by, you know, a 7th edition Codex cover or something. Doesn't look exactly like it, but it's very much an homage to. Things like that, but yeah, I could fuck with this. It's good. All right. Scan them purely for higher definition, large-scale pieces. Scan miniatures? I mean, people have... I would love to see Games Workshop do something... something different, something in larger scales. But I don't think they will. Fucking, what's his name? Darren Latham. I probably butchered his name. He's like the head of the design studio at GW. Man, that guy's got some cool looking shit that he does for custom work. Like, he's 3D modeling his own Space Marines at, like, you know, 6-inch scale, and he's printing them, and it just looks so cool. I want stuff like that. Miniatures are great, but sometimes you want larger pieces, you know, things to just look at, or commemorative paint-up busts, whatever it may be. GW used to do a bit of that stuff, like, Old Forge World had a couple of them, and I've got, like, 2 or 3 of them, but cool pieces. But yeah, there are good vendors out there who do, yeah, like, when it comes to miniatures, you do kind of stylize them and you make them, you know, look a certain way because they're miniatures. But when it comes to, you know, maybe larger pieces, you could do more with them. You've got more room to work with. Fuck. I gotta go wash my hands immediately. I mean, you can buy Space Marine armor. You can have it 3D printed. You can there's a lot of things you could do now that 3D printing's a big thing, right? But it takes a lot of time. It's certainly not an easy feat. And yeah, you could detail the hell out of them. But yes, folks, I do gotta go. I think this was probably a very productive 3 hours just to get everything made. Hey, it's on the shelf. It's better than in a bag. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I'm actually gonna go try and hit up a hobby store maybe so I can get some sandpaper because I'm out. And yeah, so everyone take care of yourselves. Thanks for hanging out. Be well. If you see me on again, you'll see me on tonight on the main channel. We'll do like League of Legends. I actually do want to go play Gangplank right now, but I'm going to take a break and I'll come back. But yeah, so thanks for hanging out. Be well, folks. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch you later or catch you next time I'm on here. Peace, peace, folks. Take care, everyone. Be well. Peace, peace.